Target acquired. Target acquired. New 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 target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired. New target acquired. Heat level critical. Warning, incoming missile. Warning, incoming missile. New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed. Target acquired. New target acquired. Critical damage. Warning, incoming missile. Right arm destroyed. Medium pulse laser destroyed. Laser destroyed. Warning, incoming missile. Critical. Right torso critical damage. Right torso critical damage.
And that is the power of the XL Atlas. Worthless team. Hardly anyone broke 200 damage, really. Doesn't matter. As long as you're in position, you've got a good chance to just rape mobility, firepower, agility. That's what MWO is really about. So, I hope you enjoyed that demonstration of breaking the meta. And until next time, Mech Warriors. Alright, guys, so just got done with that match and finally hit my skill point. It's where I can actually master out the mech. There we go. Finally. I think I'm going to be rocking. Well, I'm actually going to go to Mechlab and explain this build real quick, because that'll explain what modules I'm going to put in. So, basically, here's the premise of the XL Atlas. Assaults die when they get focused. One-on-one, if you're a halfway decent pilot, nothing stands up to you. You're an assault pilot, plain and simple. So, with the quirks that the Atlas has, XL, decel 35%, turn rate 25%, quite agile. And on top of that, we've got torso turn rate 40%. That's the big one. That's what really lets you roll damage like crazy and protect the XL and maximize the firepower that this mech can bring on the battlefield. Also, we have torso turn angle yaw 15%, so you can actually track a little bit further left and right. Very useful. And then obviously it's got the standard Atlas structure buffs, which make it very tanky. Laser duration minus 10%. You know, it's standard Atlas S stuff, really. At this point, with the energy cooldown, laser duration, ballistic velocity, missile velocity, which is very nice. Missile cooldown 10%, very important. And missile heat generation 10%, even more important. Because this mech does run hot. So, like I said, looking at in public games, not comp games, but in public games, the meta is pretty much, and I don't know who coined this term. I would love to give this person credit, but I just remember reading about it in the forums. It's called the big engine stomp meta, where basically mobility and agility equals pressure in a game, because if you can get to the good spots on the map, if you can roll damage and increase your survivability, then you automatically have an advantage, which is pretty much why standard engines are DOA at this point for every mech. Save a couple of weird builds that don't have internal slots for them. So, with that being the premise of the meta in public, queue, or solo play right now, I decided to maximize what this mech is capable of. So, I went with a 360 XL, just maxed the engine out. Didn't even worry about the fact that, I could save a couple tons by going down to a 350 and, whatever. I'm limited by internal slots at this point. So just stuff the biggest engine I can in it, let it get to where it needs to get on the map. Don't let it get NASCAR'd on, and let it have all the agility it needs to roll damage across its torso and survive, really. So, with 4 energy hard points, 1 ballistic, and 4 missile. Obviously, the SRM-6s are a no-go. A lot of people are running Artemis with an AC-20. I did not think that was the correct way to maximize what this mech is capable of, because SRMs, even with Artemis for Inner Sphere, they still spread damage. I mean, unless you're probably within 100 meters, they're not really the pinpoint damage weapons that people are making them out to be, I guess. So your ability to kill mechs really quick with Artemis on Atlas isn't all that great, because you're not really fast enough to ram it up their butthole like a SRM Jenner or an Oxide or something like that. So I went with the standard SRM 6s. Just a lot of splash damage, but still a lot of cockpit shake. And honestly, that's 48 points of damage right there. Even if it's spreading, it's still tearing up a mech. You're hitting stuff, you're tearing components off, arms, legs, whatever you're hitting, it's taking damage, right? So that's the missile side of it. And then for the ballistic side, actually, let me go to the energy side first. 4 medium pulse, because, well, they have pretty decent range that lines up with the missiles. It's similar, 220 meters versus 270, not that far apart. And usually that's kind of the range that Atlases engage at. It's lowish 200s and closer in. So I figured, there's no point in carrying regular lasers, because the burn time on them is so high that they spread. By the time the burn's over, you might as well have just brought like a laser vomit mech because you're staring people down way too much. With the missiles and the ballistics, you need to be able to fire and instantly start to rotate. Like it's fire and forget. Fire, rotate, fire, rotate. You don't want to stare down people with an Atlas, especially an XL Atlas at all. You want to be always rolling damage. So the medium pulse has a good burn time to it that allows you to alpha and rotate away. It's got decent range that lines up with the missiles. And another thing that I found out, I didn't really think about this when I was building the mech, but as I played it, it became obvious what an advantage it was. Against light mechs, an AC-10 with 4 medium pulse, super short burn time, pinpoint damage, it scares them off. Like, they just don't fuck with you. When you have this weapons loadout, you hit them once and they're like, wow, my legs instantly opened. And they just fucking leave. And that's one of the things that, you know, assaults get poached by lights a lot, especially if there's 2 lights. And even if I've had circumstances where 2 lights tried to jump me, and I'll just scare one of them off. Like I'll hit them with the LP or the MPLs and the AC-10, and they're just like, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out, because basically they get wrecked. It's 34 points of pinpoint damage, and they just leave. So anyway, the missiles and the lasers are what I wanted to fit on there first, and then the AC-10 came as a byproduct of the fact that the XL doesn't let you run the AC-20, really, and that's fine. It really is. It's still 30. Like I said, you have 34 points of pinpoint damage, or 34 points of pinpoint damage with this build, and that's pretty darn good. I mean, and then you have 48 points of SRMs to follow it up with. Pretty solid. And yeah, and as a brawler mech, what I've learned is that if you have a high alpha but you don't have the heat sinks to sustain DPS, you might as well not be playing, because you're going to be in close range, and invariably you're probably going to be leading the push at some point. You're going to be on the front lines, and if you're just cooking, then all those weapons that you're packing are useless, because you can't fire them after 1 or 2 salvos. You can't even fire your guns anymore. So what's the point of having them, really, if you're trying to lead a push but you can't fire your guns? It's just one of those things. So yeah, pretty much stuffed the XL360 with 4 double heat sinks, and then just heat sinks everywhere else I could fit them. So it's got a heat efficiency of 1.21, but with the missile heat gen quirk that we have here, minus 10%, it actually sustains damage really well. I think you saw that on Frozen City. Like at the end, I'm completely surrounded. I'm still firing. Like, yeah, I ended up popping. I popped my XL with heat, actually. I think that's how I actually died. But, you know, it's just one of those things. When you're fighting like 6 enemies at once at the end, not much you can do other than override and go hard. But, yeah, it sustains damage really, really well. And, I mean, look at this. 85.6 point alpha. It's almost like an alpha wolf, except you can hit twice in a row, and the cooldown on your weapons is shorter than an alpha wolf's would be. I mean, this is just brutal. I mean, it just slams damage. Like, if somebody comes around the corner, I think you saw me engage like a Mad Dog at about 270-ish. I started lighting him up, and he kind of got away because the MPLs weren't really in optimal range at that point, and the SRMs, when they're that far out, they spread damage. But, I mean, what was it, like a Griffin or something? It came around the corner and just instantly got blown up. Anything within 100 meters is where this thing just absolutely rapes. Like I said, it can scare people off. It still softens them up really good at about, 270-ish. You can still be hitting people and softening them up. But this is where, like, within 100 meters is where this 85.6 point alpha really shines. Like, you get in that range, someone comes around the corner, it's just game over. I don't care whether it's a dire wolf, Arctic cheetah, whatever, it's dead. And yeah. So anyway, put the module in here. Oh, modules. Improved gyros. It's an assault. You get focused a lot. You're gonna be taking a lot of firepower. But you're easy to hit with ballistics, unlike mediums, lights, and fast heavies. Like, you're not quick enough to avoid getting hit by ballistics, so you need to be able to return fire effectively. Advanced seismic sensor. I had a match where I got ambushed because I was trying to be cheap and not put any modules on this thing, and I got ambushed by someone with flamers, and then I got raped by the like 3 or 4 mechs. So I was like, you know what? I think running advanced seismic is gonna be the way to go from now on. I'm not dealing with that again. So anyway, SRM6 range, push it out a little bit because 270 is okay, but closer to 300, just make sure that you're actually connecting. Because believe it or not, a lot of times, like I've had my SRMs just like blow up in people's faces, but not actually connect to them. It's kind of lame. So I do enjoy having the range on the SRMs. The MPL range I think is important to have as well. Push it out a little bit, and the final. Do I have enough? 3.4. I'm so broke. Does anyone want to like donate MC so I can buy mechs with MC and not have to spend C-bills because I'm C-bill broke. I don't have time to farm anymore. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put the weapon module on it. Screw it. And the last weapon module that's going to go on is SRM6 cooldown, because basically if you take this into the testing grounds and just kind of like hold down the alpha strike button, everything's going to fly out instantly, obviously the first round. But then I believe the order is the AC10 cycles first, and then the MPL, and then the SRM6. The AC10, like, it's 10 points of pinpoint damage, but it's not really the focal point of this build, I guess. So like the cooldown doesn't really do anything because it just makes it even like desync more with the rest of the weapons because it's already the one that cycles first. So yeah, basically you want to just get your weapons all to cycle together, so that way you can fire, roll damage, and fire again. And that's basically why I'm going with the SRM6 cooldown here, because it will sync up the SRMs better with the MPLs. And like I said, the AC10 is already the one that cycles fastest, so you don't even need to worry about that. So yeah, now that mech is done, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Breaking the Meta. Like I said, everyone, I mean, Sean Lang had something a while ago. He like called someone out for running an XL Atlas on his channel. He was like, remember kids, don't run an XL Atlas. And I was like, challenge accepted. Like, dude, XL, I mean, with the internal structure buffs, a huge XL, big gorilla arms. I mean, it just takes a beating and it rolls damage so well. Why wouldn't you run an XL? Why would you handicap yourself and run a standard on this mech with the way it's currently quirked? Like, there's no reason not to run an Atlas S with anything other than XL, in my opinion. I mean, you can try other builds, but for me, I mean, there it is right there. It says it all, 85.6 point alpha. You're not going to, like I said, it cycles quick, and you can do it twice in a row without even hitting your cool shot. That says it all. I mean, you wanna mix it up with the laser barf and the whatever people are playing that's popular. I've seen so many LRMs. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, you want to play a unique build and have fun with the game, then I suggest you try this build out. I think you'll like it. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty nasty. Okay, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just write something on the comment section. I'm really good about answering that. And otherwise, I'll see you on the battlefield, Mech Warriors. And good luck. Have fun. And remember, kids, don't be cowards. Shoot your guns. Take care. Bye.